Peace, peace, my peaceful people. What's good? It's your brother, man. Say I knew. What's good? Come take a walk with me as we talk it over. Yeah. No, okay, so yeah, this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to reintroduce myself on my channel, right? Because somehow I keep getting the inkling that, somewhere in the background people are trying to, point at me as if I would arrogate myself. Arrogate, is that a word? Be so arrogant as to, claim that I am Tehuti speaking. Not Tehuti. My name is Seanu. I'm a disciple of Tehuti, but I'm not Tehuti. If you notice, my channel deals with things dealing with the way that God speaks, right? The way that God shows itself to the inhabitants of the planet, his children here on earth. So that's what I deal with. I deal with the way that God speaks. And the original name of the channel was God Speaks Back because, as a matter of fact, like around that time, I was getting a lot of synchronicities, and it was just like, oh man, shoot, let me, I need to start a YouTube because I wanted more people to see what I was seeing, you know what I mean? And it was like, yeah, we speak to God all the time in prayer, but if you understand the signs and symbols, you can look around and see God speaking to you at any given time, And oracles is the clearest example of that, you know what I mean? Some people don't believe in oracles, that's everybody has their right to their belief. But, my experience is different, from, various oracles are speaking to your life on various levels, when you ask the question and you're getting an answer that pertains to your situation, you can see the related details of the various keynotes that you're reading, and it's apparent. It's like, hey, that's God talking to me. So the original name of the channel was God Speaks Back, but I changed the name because I got a persistent little creature that's just following. The name of the channel was, I changed the name because I was getting, people that was kind of, they weren't folks that were looking at it the way I was looking at it. They were, kind of religious folks that were, looking to, or thinking that I was validating, some religion, some particular religion. And, it wasn't that. It was, I was, more so talking about oracles. So I said, Tehuti is who governs oracles, governs, oracular perception, governs, the knowledge, right, beyond what is belief, right? So, Tehuti is, I said, well, let me go ahead and represent Tehuti, because Tehuti is my tradition, I'm a disciple of Tehuti. So I might as well go ahead and say it like it is. So channel is Tehuti Speaks, right? You see me do oracles and then I talk about what we pull in the oracles. So that's that. So, yeah, man, I just wanted to say that just to put people on the right tone regarding situations. So, I'm on my spot, and the water is much closer today, which is cool. So, so I wanted to discuss this piece about the narcissist and the empath. The narcissist and the empath, was meditating on that, and some things came. I'm not a sage or anything like that. I'm just somebody who meditates. Talk to God. I talk to the spirits and I let them tell me stuff. So I come and tell y'all what I heard. But so the what is coming about this narcissist empath relationship it's a very interesting set of classrooms over there. It's like, okay, so for one, the empathic person reveals a uh, reveals a level of consciousness about their connection to others, right? You know, um, an empath feels you, looks you in the eye and can feel your spirit, can feel you, understand something about where you at. You know what I mean? Different people have different levels of it. I can tend to look you in the eye and know something about your intention toward me. I can know if you're lying or you're telling the truth. I can know something about your experience, something about you when I look at you. When you look back at me in the eye, I can read that, you know. And most of the times I'm correct, you know what I mean? But here nor there. The connection of the empath has to do with understanding the Osir within, right? Or having a relationship with the God within. Because when I look at you, the reason I can feel you is because I'm communicating with the God in you. Again, it's about universal love. Ma'at is the law. Why? Because there's only one spirit on the planet. That spirit is the thing that created the planet. And that thing is at the essence of you and I. That guy, that woman, we all have at the essence of us the God that created us. So that empathic thing has to do with communicating with that is in you, the same thing that is in me. And the empath tends to have a kind of a cloud of gullibility, because of this, right? Because of this, what I mean. Empaths tend to think that everybody is like them, what I mean. Open, right? Open to love, right? Open to things, right? Just open. You know what I mean? And it's not the case. And that's sometimes the classroom of the empath, especially when they come up against the narcissist. So the narcissist is here to teach the empath to not be so open, because everybody ain't so good. you know, you know what I mean? The empath is the innocent child of God. Comes to the narcissist with a open heart. A wanting to heal that person, because we smart enough to see that this person got issues. This person got self-hate issues. That causes them to be underhanded. Dishonest. You know what I mean? Malicious things like that. This has to do with some level of how the world communicated what is life to them. You know what I mean? Somehow they learn from the world that they have to adapt an attitude of me only, me first, selfishness, ego, right? That ego rules the narcissist, right? And what is the ego? The ego is set, right? We understand that set within man is its ego. And set is eventually what became Satan, Shaitan, etc., right? So that's why the title. The narcissist is the child of Set, basically. Whereas the empath is the child of God. And again, their classrooms. What the empath has to mind when they come across what the narcissist has to keep in mind or grow in his mind when he comes across the empath is, see. And they never get this. This is not something that they just readily get. That is that the empath is basically God's classroom for that narcissist, God's testing ground. God is here to test your conscience or your conscience, right? Because the empath has to basically, in order to be an empath, he has to kill the Osir within. Right? And the Osir is the conscience, right? That part of you that subliminal part of you that knows what's right or wrong, that itches at you when you're doing something that ain't right. You know what I mean? That's if you didn't kill it. If you killed that part of you, then you don't get no itch no more. You just do whatever you do, and how Crowley said it: "Do what thou will is the whole of the law." Right? What's Set's job, right? Set within us, the ego, the part of us that is focused on the world. We are in the world and of the world, right? Right? That Setian thing within us, it basically needs to kill that thing that is the highest part of us in order to have expression. So the story wins again. We see the story playing out in life. And you don't have to be a narcissist in order to kill Osir within you. You just have to get the inkling to not live the truth of your being. Right? The job. How do you see Set working in the world? Set is doing his thing when he's convincing other people to kill the Osir within them, right? Like, my relative I told you about who loved to wait until, I was trying to stop smoking in order to come over with the blunt. You know what I'm saying? Like that was Set working in him, That was the devil. That was the devil trying to work in him to get me to do something that was against my higher nature, right? Something that I didn't want to do, something that I was not willing, right? This guy was trying to, so he was doing the work of the devil, right? Or he was doing the work of Satan, or of Set, right? He was very in touch with his Setian faculty by wanting to influence me to do bad, right? At the moment when, I said that it's not what I'm going to do no more. Right? Yeah, I'm going to start smoking weed. Yo, I'm on my way over. I got the lit blunts, yo. Let's have it. You know what I mean? We going to chill out. Yo, bro, why you come through with that, man? I ain't, you know what I mean? I told you I'm chilling. So anyway, the narcissist, feeds off of the empath's light, right? It wants to corrupt the empath, right? The narcissist wants that empath to now, do what it did, what he did, or she did, right? Because narcissists come in all genders, or both genders, right? There's only two. The narcissist wants to, corrupt that empath. He wants that empath to sink. He wants to sink his vibration, right? And on the other side, the empath, what the empath is doing as being attracted to this narcissist, or as, on some level enabling the narcissist, just to be around the narcissist is to enable him or her, right? But what the empath is doing is, that the empath, let's go back to the empath. I was saying that the empath shows its divinity. It's because, Osir is unity within us. Osir is omnipresence. Osir is that thing that is within you is in me. You know what I mean? So that's why I love you, because I love me, right? That's Osir. That's, Ma'at, right? The law, right? The law is that we love because there's only one us in this world, right? I'm looking at that person over there. That person is me. I should be able to see that person in me because there's only one being. The being that created us sits in the essence of what we are. So the narcissist the empath feels that. Empath sees that. The empath communicates with that when they look you in the eye and understand what you want. When we feel you, we're communicating with the God within you because we're in touch with the God within us. You know what I mean? And that God is now communicating with us about you. So the empath now is, sees himself as someone who is doing God's work. And that doesn't even have to be consciously, right? Some of us not even are aware that that's what we're doing, but we enable the empath, we enable the narcissist, right? Because we are children of God, right? And we want to heal that narcissist. We know that narcissist is nasty with the ways of the devil. You know what I'm saying? But, some part of us wants to, you know, um, wants to heal that person. You know what I mean? Lack of a better way to say it. Some part of us wants to heal that individual. You know what I mean? So we exist with that individual, right? We go through the relationship ups and downs, etc., right? Until, at some point, you just got to say, look, person gonna be who they be, and I ain't Superman. Let me put my shit down and get the fuck up out of here. You know what I mean? That's what we eventually say. You know what I mean? But before that, it's something about the divine within us trying to express itself, by accepting that narcissist, trying to, be the example for that narcissist, trying to heal that narcissist, you know what I mean? And, we go through that because, sometimes God will use the empath, right, as the classroom for the narcissist, right? Because again, the narcissist didn't pop out the womb as a narcissist. It became that way through the way it assimilated. I'm saying it like it's not a human. I'm saying it. Don't mean to call the narcissist an it, but sometimes it acts that way. So I'm just rock or whatever. But it doesn't come out the womb that way. It comes out the womb as a human. You know what I mean? A child of God, right? Right? But some part of the way it assimilates the lessons of life has shown it to be a narcissist, right? Or to be someone who can now do evil in the world and not have a conscience about it, right? To kill the Osir within him in order to do whatever the things are, some aspect of the way he grew up, some experience in his life taught him that this is the way, that it's not the way to, to show emotion or, that's weak, or something like that, right? That they now accept and, they turn to the world with this toxic, way about themselves. You know what I mean? So, the empath is looking to that which they were, right? Understanding that that's what they are at the essence. And understanding that, maybe with a little love, they can be changed. This is the plight of the empath, right? So the empath becomes the classroom for that narcissist, right? Then it's up to that narcissist now to, take this lesson in the form of this individual, right, for what it is and learn something, you know what I mean? Or not, or shun it, push it away, right? It's up to the narcissist to do that when he encounters someone who is possessed of unconditional love and will, will be open to him and all his bullshit. It's bullshit, right? So, the empath, understanding that all of this is transitory, has a bit of that heavenly naivety about his or her person, that needs to be now corrected because they're here on the earth. They're having a different experience, and now, see, here on the earth, you have to take things for what they are. You have to take things for what they, sometimes what they present themselves to be, you know what I mean? And you can't question it, just gotta rock with it. You know what I mean? So that becomes the plight of the empath. You know what I mean? Me with all my generosity for the world, right? All my, good high vibration, you know what I mean, for this life, I now have to realize that, you know what I mean, everybody ain't so good, and everybody don't have my best interest at heart. That's what the empath has to learn as he walks this planet, how not to walk this planet and get got. You know what I mean? He has to curb some of that goodwill, right, so to speak, in order to live on a planet where there's narcissists and toxic people. So, basically, so the narcissist, when coming against the empath or coming, upon the empath and inviting this empath into his life, is being tested. He's being challenged to get right. He's being challenged to, because why? Because the empath is an open book to the narcissist. The empath is the narcissist's greatest source. He's the source. He's that source of energy that narcissist needs to validate, to just do what a narcissist does, right? The empath is the perfect punching bag for the narcissist because the empath is wide open. The empath tends to carry this love thing, this wanting to heal, right? The narcissist, you know what I mean? So God says, all right, narcissist, let me show you this individual. What you gonna do now? What you gonna do with this individual? Let's see. And the empath, tends to be, someone who, that's why I say the empath has some relationship with that God, right? Because it can feel you, right? It feels the narcissist. It knows that the narcissist ain't right. It knows that it's sick. That narcissist is sick. It carries a sickness. He's not well. Life did a job to him or her. You know what I mean? And that's not to make no excuse, because just because, the whole thing is just because life did you bad, did you wrong, does not give you the excuse to go do others wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's where you err, You're supposed to get a different message from that lesson, But that's not always what happens. And then we get hurt people who hurt people. That's that narcissist, Yeah, but so the narcissist has to learn through its experience with the empath, because what happens generally is that, at some point the empath is going to be like, all right, look, you ain't changing. I'm out. You know what I mean? You fool me once, shame on you. You know what I mean? But fool me twice, shame on me. Come back again with that, you're going to have to get one of these. You know what I mean? Or a couple, And, and then they decide to be out. You know what I mean? And so now the narcissist has to, kind of gather the lesson from that, you know what I mean? Which is now going to proceed from karma. There's going to be consequences to not, getting this lesson. There's consequences to all that you do in life, especially when you're doing it to other people. You know what I'm saying? There's things that a narcissist would do to somebody that an empath would never think to do. Like, what drives a person to, slander a person's name and try to, harm or try to destroy this person just because you broke up? You break up with somebody and then they go slandering you. Like, who does that? The narcissist does that. You know what I mean? Because the ego is so shocked and hurt, and it's really a deluded kind of mentality. Because who does that? You know what I mean? Nobody does. Nobody who is sane or healthy minded does that. You know what I mean? So these people are sick. But nevertheless, they have to now heal by themselves. They have to heal through the lesson of that classroom that they had, that they failed. You know what I mean? There's a guy, I don't know this guy's name, but he's all over YouTube. Narcissist brother, he wears dreads. He says he always kicks his thing, and he's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm a prescribed narcissist and yada 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 yada. So he basically went through his whole classroom of narcissism and of being a narcissist, and and losing because of it. He lost the love of his life. You know what I mean? He was, very hurt by it. And so he, basically turned the camera on himself after, going through counsel and, yada, 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 healing up, and he turned the camera on himself and says, well, I'm going to show you what a narcissist is. I'm going to, be someone who kind of helps to, deal with that reality of narcissism. And so, so just watching this guy's experience, shows you a lot about, how that classroom works, you know what I mean? And watching him, in his process of repenting, You know what I mean? Because that's necessary. You know what I mean? There is no, oh, just forgive me and everything be good. No, you have to do something to show that you're healed from your sick condition before you can get some sort of a uh, 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 um, penance, right? Or is that the right word? Some sort of a forgiveness. You know what I mean? You don't get no forgiveness by just saying, "Please forgive me." You crazy? No, you're a sociopath in most cases. Like you showing yourself to be someone who ain't right. You know what I mean? So what makes you right now? Just because you want, what I mean? You're still in your ego. If I'm supposed to forgive you just because you want me to. No, you're still in your ego. You're still off limits. We are not equally yoked in that regard. You know what I mean? So that's the classroom. So then, right, and that's what you see me talking is the empath classroom that the narcissist presents, right? Again, everybody ain't so good, and the empath eventually learns that some of that unconditional love, you know, can't always be so unconditional. You gotta add conditions on it because some people will take that and um, misuse that. They will take advantage of that. You know, they say, "Oh man, this person's soft. I could run them over. I could do X, Y, Z." They didn't know that that person was just showing love. You know what I mean? Showing some heal, right? Trying to heal you. You know what I mean? And so they misuse that. So the empath classroom is to now acknowledge that about the world. You know what I mean? And not be such a punching bag for the narcissist or for anybody else. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's kind of a naive thing that this you know, empathic journey, does to you. You know what I mean? And it's only based on love. It's a odd thing. You know what I mean? I try to help when I can. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And that opens me up sometimes. It'll open me up to unscrupulous individuals if I'm not careful. But, luckily, I got that whole tree in me. So, I know how to turn on Harukahuti. I know how to turn on Haru. You know what I mean? I know how to, get right when I'm wrong. I know how to throw my bones and look at the, prescribed, conduct now. I know what to do. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But yeah, it's deep. It's a very deep thing, understanding this thing about the child of God and the child of the devil. You know what I mean? And the narcissist didn't come out the womb as the child of the devil. It was all about how he assimilated or she assimilated the lessons or the experiences of life. It was all about how what they learned life to be or what they learned their conduct should be in regards to how life was treating them. You know what I mean? And in the case of the narcissist, they learn the wrong thing. But yeah, that's that. Yeah, I think I said everything I wanted to say. Yeah. All right, y'all. Hope I got something from that. Yeah, y'all. I need some likes, man. Hit the likes buttons. You know what I'm saying? How I get 20, 30 views and 2, 3 likes. Come on, man. I know it ain't just my haters watching. Hi, haters. But peace and love to the good people. I gotta answer this phone. Peace.